McCarthy Insurance Group, serving the community for over 70 years. For home, farm, motor, life, health and business insurance, log on to mig.ie or free phone 1800 50 11 11. Probably your best call in 2024. Charles McCarthy Insurance is trading as McCarthy Insurance Group, is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Real people, real opinions. Real Talk Radio. The multi-award winning Niall Boylan Show.
I don't know how you'd feel about a 10-year honeymoon and living off the land. I mean, we love on this show, and tonight we are talking to an amazing couple who are travelling the world on their 10-year honeymoon. Yep, you heard me right. It's not just a 10-year relationship, it's a 10-year honeymoon. No, they're not rich, by the way. They are two regular people who just fell in love and decided to see the world together, doing extraordinary things. They have a background in dance, music, yoga, and I'm telling you now, their pictures are like something out of a bloody movie. They're just beautiful, by the way. And they've been featured in some of the newspapers now. And I suppose they're going to have to make money. And I'm assuming social media is a way of doing that now. But I'm looking at the pictures here. My God, it's like something out of a calendar. Like some of the people hanging from trees and being kissed like Spider-Man. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, a lad with a kilt on him kissing somebody in a wedding dress up in the middle of the Highlands. Whee! But they're stunning pictures. Absolutely stunning pictures. And let me just go to the husband, who is Kieran. Kieran, hi.
Hello there. How are you?
And your beautiful wife. Now, I'm going to pronounce her name wrong, am I? Because her name is Silke, is it?
Silke, yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Silke. Sorry, Silke, I do apologise.
Hello.
How are you?
You two just look. By the way, can I just point out, if I could, this is radio, so people can't see your pictures, but if I put these pictures up online or something, people say, "Is that Aquaman?" Because you do look a little bit like him. Silke, you did well there. He's a good-looking bloke.
He is that. That's why I chose him, and his accent.
Yeah, and you did well too, by the way, Kieran. I think you're punching above your weight there. Just let me point out, okay? So, when you guys met first, was it like love at first sight?
It was, yeah. Actually, we met in Spain around about 5 years ago. And the day we met, we fell in love. And we actually decided to move in together on the first day.
Wow. Okay, yeah. So that was it. Just let's move in together. This is it for life. Like, we're together for life.
Yeah, that was it. We were going to be working as dancers in a dance company in Spain, and we had this place for 6 months, and we said, let's do it. And
okay.
It was.
So how long after that period of time, that first 6 months, how long after did you propose, by the way, Kieran?
It did actually take me a while. I proposed during COVID, so I proposed 2 years ago.
Okay.
2.5 years ago.
Okay.
We were invited to do a photo shoot in the north of Scotland, and during that photo shoot, I had asked the photographer, could we have some private time with just the photographer and us on top of the Kieran on the Isle of Skye. And
these are the photographs I'm looking at out in the middle of the Highlands. You with your kilt on you.
Well, so that was actually our wedding. So I proposed, and then the next morning, Silke woke up and she said, do you know what? I want to get married in Scotland, and let's get married right here where you proposed. So we decided, just like 3 months after that, we decided to walk across Scotland to get married. So we actually walked 500 kilometres with noodles every single day.
I feel a song coming on. And I would walk 500 miles. I couldn't resist that because I met the Proclaimers many years ago. So, Silke, were you kind of brushed off your feet completely? Were you smitten by him?
When he proposed?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God, of course. I was like, finally.
Finally.
The location, everything, I was just, it was the most beautiful day of our life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then after the most beautiful months when we got married and walked to our wedding.
So at what point did you decide, the both of you, right, let's go on a honeymoon. We can't decide where we'll go, so let's just go everywhere and do it for 10 years. Whose decision was that?
Maybe a little bit mine. I've always been a traveler, since I was 18. I moved to Mexico. I lived there for a year. And after I was always traveling for a year Asia, then working a bit in UK, then South America and working. So I had this travel lifestyle. And when I met Kieran, I was like, my God, I have to take you traveling.
Yeah, I had never really traveled before outside of work. And Silke just showed me that it was possible. So when we realized it was possible, we took off. We did 1 year in Asia and we planned to keep on going. But due to COVID, we got sent back home. And just during our time back home, when we got married, we said, we've got to make this honeymoon something epic. And the 10-year honeymoon plan was born at that point.
Okay. And so the plan is, you're currently in Thailand at the moment. Thailand, sorry. You're currently there at the moment. And how long have you been in Thailand now?
We've been in Thailand for about 7 months, and this is a bit longer than we usually do.
Okay.
So we've been on the for 2 years, and we travel. You know, usually the maximum visa length in each country, 3 months, is usually like a normal amount of time, just to get to know the culture, the country, and everything about it. But we've been in Thailand for a while. We found some comfort here, but we're going to be leaving in a few days. Our visa runs out, and we're heading to Malaysia to start an adventure there.
Okay.
Yeah, our dream is a few years in Asia, and after we want to fly to Chile, buy a van and drive from Chile all the way to Alaska.
To Alaska? Be cold up there. You need to buy some gloves and a coat. You're not going to be able to dress half naked like you are in these photographs in Alaska. Let me just tell you that now. Okay. So here's the question everybody wants to know. It sounds like a beautiful lifestyle. And I'm looking at the 2 years here, by the way, outside a caravan. I don't know if that caravan is yours. Is the caravan yours, by the way?
Wish. No, that was where we stayed on our wedding night. So before we got married, we actually camped all the way across Scotland. So we were in our tent, and one of our family friends, they got us this little place to stay in after we got married, and it was the most beautiful place to stay. We had donkeys and everything.
I can see the donkey. I see the donkey. You're both feeding the donkey there. So here's the burning question, Kieran and Silke. How can you afford to do this? Because this is a dream people would want. So it's not cheap.
So I think it's a big combination of, extreme budgeting sometimes. So for a year, we were living on $8 a day together, $4 each per day. So in places like Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Thailand, that is really possible. We hitchhike everywhere. So we were hitchhiking all across these countries. The accommodation is super cheap. The food is super cheap. But more recently, we've managed to pick up some work that's making it a little bit more sustainable, working on social media. We've managed to monetize our YouTube channel. So YouTube is starting to provide a little bit. And then, through TikTok and Instagram, companies are starting to reach out and say, they're willing to pay for advertising or photo content, which is, giving us a good start to
That's good.
To sustaining the road.
Yeah, social media is amazing, and people can live on social media. They can literally pay for everything. Mind you, if you're planning on living on $4 a day, I advise you don't come to Ireland, because $4 a day won't even get you a look in the window of a shop. So you won't get much for $4 in this country. You won't even get half a Happy Meal. So, are you planning on coming to Ireland at any stage?
So we always, since the day we met, we've had this plan to drive from Chile to Alaska. But more recently, we actually worked with a company in Sri Lanka who rent tuk-tuks to tourists. So when we were in Sri Lanka, they rented us a tuk-tuk, or they gave it to us in exchange for advertising for 2 months. And we drove around all of Sri Lanka. But they had the same project in India, but it's kind of folded, and they're left with these tuk-tuks. And we thought maybe something that we would try to do is buy one of those tuk-tuks in India and try and drive back to the UK. So we were thinking to drive all the way back to the UK, and that would bring us to Scotland and obviously Ireland as well, because I've visited Ireland a few times and Silke's never actually been, so we would love to visit together. And we do plan to
so the message is, if anybody out there has a tuk-tuk company and you want some free advertising, Kieran and Silke will quite happily drive it around Ireland for you. In response, you could obviously give them some money for doing that.
Yeah, that's it. So we plan to visit, and Ireland is on there.
And I'm looking at all the well wishes that you get as well through social media. I think people are very jealous of your lifestyle, because I think, when we're all working away at our 4 or 5 day a week job, it's mundane, it's in and out, it's clocking in, it's clocking out, it's going home, it's looking after the kids, it's going to bed, it's getting back up. we're all very jealous of this lifestyle. There's a picture of you here hanging from a tree like Spider-Man and Silke giving you a kiss, just like they did in the movie. I mean, where's that?
That was on a beach in Thailand, in Koh Phangan, the island.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
It's such a stunning location.
Yeah, and I mean, the same with another picture of the two of you on the beach there with you're sticking your tongues out. You're like, you actually look like each other. You're starting to grow into each other now at this stage. You're starting to actually look like each other. And this is the one I said to Jane earlier on. I said, he looks like Aquaman. What's that? Jane, what's that actor's name? Aquaman. What's his name again? I can't think of his name anyway. But he was in Game of Thrones, I think, as well, wasn't he? Or something like that. Yeah, there's definitely a movie role for you. That's I would imagine there's a movie role for the two of you there. And I'm surely some documentary makers would be interested in following the pair of you, because you've got it's a wonderful story. You've got two people living off the land, essentially, and in love and travelling the world. I mean, you couldn't make it up.
That's until that documentary filmmakers, whatever, until they find us, we're filming our own journey, we're capturing our own journey, and yeah, we love doing that. And yeah, it's just a dream of ours to keep on doing it for the next 8 years.
Mm. So, Silke, you couldn't possibly imagine yourself doing anything else but this at the moment, Silke.
Anything what? Sorry, your accent is a bit hard.
Okay, I'm sorry. I do apologise. That's typical Irish. You couldn't possibly imagine yourself doing anything else apart from this at the moment. This was kind of your dream, I suppose.
This is definitely the dream life. Yeah, we never thought it would happen, but starting in social media was the best thing that ever could have happened. And now also we play music in bars and restaurants, and we teach some breath work along the way. So we're slowly like finding our ways, and it just feels right.
And what are your families? I don't know if you both have family. I don't know whether you miss them or not, or what do they think of your travels? Your mums, your dads, your brothers and sisters, if you have any. What do they think of your travels, or do they come and join you every now and again?
Well, first of all, we miss them so much. I have a big family. I have 4 brothers and sisters. And yeah, for them, like, it's kind of normal that I'm gone. It's not normal when I'm home. They're like, Silke, what are you doing here? But for Kieran, that's a bit different.
Yeah, so I'm an only child, and I think my parents miss me a lot, and I miss them a lot. But they have said that they would love to come and visit us every now and again. And they came to Thailand, and this is the first time they were in Asia. So it was so nice. And I think we're going to use this as an excuse to get them into more adventurous places. Thailand was such an amazing adventure with them. We had them driving around on mopeds. It was amazing. So, I think we just, the time we do spend together is really quality time. And with Silke's family as well. Her brother and sister, her older brother and sister are travellers as well, so we spent time with them recently, and we're hoping that the rest of her family will come out to visit us at some point soon.
Yeah. Get out here.
Yeah, word of warning, by the way, if you're going to rent out a motorbike in Thailand, don't do what my producer Jane did last year and crash it and end up in hospital, because that's what she did last year in Thailand. She wasn't as unfortunate this year, thankfully, but we'll come to that later on. But I suppose culturally, is it difficult for you to adapt to each country that you go in? I know you say the reason you stay there longer is to adapt to the culture. And you obviously enjoy doing that. Is it difficult to adapt to the culturally and to the food and everything else to different countries?
I think it's so easy. I think Asia already feels like home. Maybe India is different, but every time when you arrive in India, it's kind of a culture shock.
Culture shock.
Yeah.
But you get used. After a few days, it's like you're home. So.
I think that's one of our things is so all the photographs you see, we take those ourselves. Apart from our wedding photos were taken by a photographer for our wedding. But our passion is photography, one of our biggest passions, and we love to get out into the local cultures. So we don't really give ourselves much of an option. Apart from Thailand, it's quite touristy, but, when we go to India, we find ourselves in the smallest villages. We were in Laos for 4 months, and we were lost in the tiniest villages where, I don't know if tourists have ever been there. The people looked at us like aliens, and I think you just don't have a choice but to learn the language and live like the people live. And I think that's one of the things that we've discovered that we just love about traveling is meeting these local people and trying to, find out how they do what they do. And you realize, I think that's maybe part of our journey. You realize you don't need a lot to be happy. These people are so happy, and they live in little wooden houses on stilts with not a lot around them, which is, it teaches.
Super inspiring.
Yeah, it's so inspiring.
But when you going back to you're spending your $4 a day on food, when you are living on a budget, that must be difficult too, is it? I mean, you're wondering where your next meal is going to come from. Or are you, Kieran, one of these guys who'll get a stick and a piece of twine and start catching fish or something like that?
So actually, we're both vegetarian. But I think in Asia, there are a lot of touristy places and sometimes like fancy restaurants, like they entice us. But we're lucky with the social media. Sometimes restaurants ask us to have a meal for free in exchange for advertising, or some people say, I'll invite you for your honeymoon. And like we often stay in like really nice hotels that invite us for advertising on social media. But when we're not doing that, then we're back to I guess the budget's increased recently because we are able to earn more now at the start.
You're making a bit of money, yeah. Yeah. What was the worst? I know you're trying to remember the worst moment because that's not good. But what was the worst moment? Was there a moment at any point where you said, we just can't keep doing this? We can't afford it, before you became as popular as you are on social media, but that it was just so difficult, or that something happened, or what was the worst moment in all this time?
So we did actually have a UK TV company reach out to us recently because they saw one of our videos on YouTube, and maybe people listening, or you could search this as well. It was called The Worst Day of Our Honeymoon. The name is, our channel name is Silkyrontheroad, and we released a video called The Worst Day of Our Honeymoon because in Laos, we were given this bike. It was an old Thai bike. We drove around all of Laos. It was incredible, and it was the most magical journey, but the bike broke down 13 times in 3 weeks. We were non-stop in the mechanic, and during one of those days, I decided we're going to take this little dirt track and try and make a shortcut back to the place we were staying. And we ended up getting stranded, like 5 hours walk from the closest village, pushing this bike through them.
This is the bike I'm looking at here with the gold. It has like a gold tank on it. Yeah.
Gold, the famous bike. And yeah, it was the craziest experience because none of the locals, at this point, we were so far into the rural Laos, no one spoke English, and our bank cards wouldn't work in any of the ATMs.
Yes.
So we were just pushing this bike and hoping for someone to rescue us. And actually, we were really fortunate that someone with a truck drove past, and we managed to flag him down, and we loaded the bike in the back of the truck, and he drove us to the next village and the village after that because they wouldn't take us. It was really difficult, and it pushed our relationship. And
I was going to say that. Is there ever a point? I assume, like every couple, you have the odd argument every now and again. But was there ever a point where one of you turned around and said, "That's it. I've had enough of this. I'm going. You're on your own." Was there ever that?
Never argue. No, for sure. Like every couple, it's we have our moments, and we had it was a big decision point after our wedding. We were having like little arguments, and then there was some stuff coming up, and we said, actually, we realized that this relationship, and I think relationships in general, it's not a one-time decision. It's not do you want to marry me? Okay, that's it. It's a decision every single day. So we made this agreement to wake up every day and love each other and do the best we can. And yeah, sometimes we argue because full-time travel, it comes with its own things, but I think that we made this decision to do the best for the relationship and to do the best for each other every day. So it manages to make things work.
I'm looking at your Instagram handle, by the way. You mentioned it there a minute ago, Silkyrontheroad. And in relation to that handle, where does that come from? So I'm looking at both your names here. So where does it come from, Kieran and Silke? That name, Silkyrontheroad.
So Silke is my name.
Yeah.
And then Kieran's nickname, so Kieran Ron.
Oh, okay. I'm getting you. I thought there was somebody else called Ron involved in this whole thing. All right, okay. So it's your nickname, Kieran, yeah.
It's my nickname, or it was my nickname a while ago, and I think we just love puns. So Silky Run the Road, and it's like Silky are on the road.
Yeah. If anyone wants to go onto Instagram, by the way, it's Silky Run the Road. So it's Silky, SilkyRontheroad, Silky Run the Road. And so you're on TikTok as well?
Yep, and actually TikTok is going pretty good. We've found a thing that works for some strange reason in Thailand is hitchhiking. So whenever we post hitchhiking videos in Thailand,
it goes viral.
Yeah, we've had like 4 million views. We had 2 million views, and we had a video we posted 2 days ago just hit 1.4 million views, which is really crazy. But every time we post anything else, it's not bad. But the hitchhiking videos, they just seem to go really viral.
Maybe people just like to see you stuck every now and again and not being able to get a lift.
Yeah, we have almost 100,000 followers on TikTok, and I think we're going to hit 100,000 today, maybe depending on how this reel goes now. But that's grown up just from the time in Thailand. You know, in the last 7 or 8 months, it was really crazy. The potential of these things is
absolutely,
but
absolutely.
What to focus on.
Yeah.
So, and Silke, you know, here's a question that a lot of couples want to know the answer to, because you two seem to have the perfect relationship. But I'm sure there's no such thing as a perfect relationship, but the ideal relationship. And I suppose, to you, what's the secret of love? Ooh, it's a difficult question. Have I silenced Silkyrontheroad? Have I? Well, I mean, what is the secret to this? What seems to be a wonderful relationship, Silke?
I think something that Kieran taught me is communication. Like, I was very bad communicating my feelings and my thoughts. And that's something I learned really in the last few years. Mm-hmm. And it's making our so much better. Rather than keeping everything inside, it's just sharing it with your partner in a beautiful way. Yeah. And saying, look, this is how I feel, or this is what I would like to change. And I think as long as you're open and you're doing it in a beautiful way, like, nothing can go wrong.
Yeah, Silke barely asks for what she wants, you know, and I'm like, tell me if you want to go for a coffee somewhere, because now that the budget's getting up a little bit,
we can afford one.
We actually, exactly where we are right now, it's a place called Trang. It's not super touristy or anything, but the reason we came back was because there's a little cafe here that sells amazing coffee, and it's just a local place. And we said, okay, when we're going on the way to Malaysia, we're going to stop in here again, and we're going to treat ourselves to a coffee. And Silke's, she's now much better, because I'm a guy, I love to please people, and I say, I want to know what you want. So when I ask her, she tells me, I'd love to go for a coffee here, or can you go and do this for me? I love it. I'm a workhorse, you know. I want to do stuff for people, and
well, I have to say, it seems like a wonderful relationship. And your pictures are absolutely beautiful. People can see all those pictures, by the way. They are available on the Instagram account, Silkyrontheroad. And if you want to follow them, or you can go onto TikTok, or where else can they see you, by the way? YouTube? Yeah.
YouTube is the main one we're focusing on right now. That's where all the real raw adventures are. Instagram, you know, within the algorithm and stuff, it feels a little more polished. And TikTok is some
bit more fun.
Yeah, exactly. And YouTube is where you can get, like, it's where we post vlogs twice a week. So we're aiming for every Wednesday and every Sunday. Usually they're hitchhiking or doing something fun or going to a viewpoint or getting stranded in a local village. Mm-hmm. But we try to keep the content interesting, and yeah.
Well, listen, I wish the two of you the best of luck, and in your 10-year honeymoon, and wherever your travels may take you. I wish you the best of luck into old age, and I hope you are happy as a couple for the rest of your lives.
Thank you very much. And when we go to Ireland, we will for sure let you know.
Okay, listen, thank you very much indeed, Kieran and Silke, and have a wonderful time, all right? And enjoy life when you can, all right? That's what life is all about, enjoying it. Thank you. See you, bye. There you go, Kieran and Silke. Silkyrontheroad. That is the name of the site, if you want to go, or the Instagram. And I'm sure it's the same name, by the way, if you go onto YouTube. Or you go onto TikTok as well, they're there too.
Real people, real opinions, real talk radio. The multi-award winning Niall Boylan Show.